Um, our last speaker for the day is an incredible woman from Iran. She's an assistant professor at Tehran University. She's a PhD holder and a theater director. So let's welcome Azadeh Ganjeh.
Hello to everyone. I would like to thank you, Sapash, and also Kiran first for this wonderful event. It's an honor for me. And I'm so happy to know all these great women. Very powerful, very enthusiastic. Very much. It's my great honor. And I would like to ask something. May I ask the participants who can and would like to turn on their cameras? I'm used to break rules, so so I would ask if anyone likes. Wow, great, Nora. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Nusha. Anyone else want to join on the board? Hello, thanks. The first speaker, you're so loyal.
We wanted to do this at the end and click a picture, but then,
I am a theater director. That's the problem. Okay. So anyone else want to join on the board? Okay. So I would love to see you, meet you all in person, your faces, and to say thanks for staying here on the platform for the time I would like to speak. Hi. Wonderful. So what you see in my back is Tehran, streets of Tehran, a very main street, the longest street you can see in Tehran. It's just part of it. Some of you may know it if you have been here. And that's actually where I usually work, in the streets. And that's actually where I usually perform and ask people to perform, or sometimes ask the city to perform. Yes, please, Sopash. I asked Sopash to have a dialogue. That's how I would like to take this.
Very much. So, Azadeh, first, thanks for joining us today. Could you quickly start with tell about your work as the assistant professor at Faculty of Dramatic Arts and Music? Could you talk about it first?
Yes, this is my academic aspect of life. And what I do is I teach in the University of Tehran in the field of theater and broadly drama. I usually teach performing arts and performance, and I have a PhD in philosophy. So that's what I also teach, how do you apply philosophy to theater and how you can use the knowledge and the approach of philosophy to real life for staging your ideas. That's what I do.
So you're also a theater director and your productions have won international awards. Can you tell us about your productions?
Yes, as I mentioned, I do mostly site-specific theater, which means I prefer to perform in sites and real sites. And I also mostly do immersive theater and interactive theater. That's my passion, to give a stage to people. So I always like to have participants in the whole production, not the actors, not the well-known performers, but I believe if you look, I think you all heard that Shakespeare phrase, quote, that life is a stage, So I tried to make this happen really in my country at least. And I thought, okay, everywhere can be a stage and everyone can be a performer. And so I decided to bring my theater to the streets, to sites, to real sites, to public sites, and to make the whole area and the whole space a performing area. And that had different reasons. First, I believed, and I think even my ancestors in Iran, when they imported theater to Iran, because modern theater, Western theater, we can call it Western, but modern theater is a very much imported phenomenon. It's an imported thing. And when they imported it more than 100 years ago, they believed that theater can work for democracy and can be a good tool for that. So I also believe in this. And I thought, yes, it used to be like that, even in Greece. So why not nowadays in Iran? And many years ago, can I say many? I don't know. It was 2006 when I started professionally to have my own theater collective and to go for my passion, for my dreams. I thought I want to go out of the salon. I want to go out of the theater hall. So and bring theater to people. And I said, and there was always a phrase in my mind: theater for everyone. So I started reading and searching which kind of theater, what are available forms of theater in this case. And then I found, forum theater, the theater for oppressed. And I choose this kind. I went to the streets, I brought my troupe to the streets, and I started with invisible theater. So first, when I started, I didn't tell people this is a theater. I told them this is a filmmaking event. This is a movie we are making in the street. And in my country, telling that it's a movie and we are just having something for the TV always gather many people around you. And so this was a trick, and they gathered around us. And then I said, okay, we need. So with the rules of forum theater and everything, I said, okay, we need some participants. And then participants came to us, and I said, okay, you are going to play the main role, but you can play it as you wish. And then, so it was very inspiring for some people, especially in the cast of society, that they didn't have this stage to have their speech, to speak what they think. And we were very successful. And then I said, yes, it is possible. So then I choose, but I didn't always continue in this form of theater. I always think about an idea and I find out why this idea has to be shared, how I can share it, with which kind of tool, and especially social events we can do it. So then I find the form. So my productions are very different. Shall I show some bits and a slideshow? Would you like to?
Sure, please.
Yes, I will try. Okay. Sorry, just a moment. Okay. Yes, now it does. So what you see is one of the very first productions I had. It was, the name is Always Passes By You, and you see it's very crowded around. And you see we pretend we are a filmmaking group. And that's what we do. And then you can see, so we did it in different parts of the city with different casts of society. And with cast, I mean with people from different financial bases and different cultural bases. And the issue we brought out was polygamy, because it's an issue in my country. And by that time, it was a legal issue because the parliament wanted to give men the right for polygamy. And I wanted people to talk about it, to say if they find it, if they find it good or not, or if it is justice for men to have polygamy or not. So that's what we did. And this woman came from is one of the spectators who joined. This is in the metro station. It was the very first production which got the permit to perform in a metro station. And it was the very first production which got a permit to perform in the city with a woman as a director. Before that, they never gave a woman a permit to perform in the city, in the public spaces. This is another production. It's happened in the very vast, big area of Tehran University. By that time, I was not a professor there. I was just a student. And we choose the whole area of the university to tell a story that everyone could hear in these headphones. And you can see me somewhere around there. And so what people were doing was they were witnesses of a story, and this story was about mainly about cultural revolution in Iran after Islamic Revolution. And this is a phone booth. This is another production. It's only a phone booth with a public phone inside, and everyone. This happened in year 2009. Everyone can go inside, pick up the phone, and then they are intruders in a phone call, in a phone dialogue. Sometimes there's also interaction with them. Each month there is one performance, but it's really like public phone booths. There is no sign that it is a performance or anything. And this is the phone. You can see a very old-fashioned public phone, kind of nostalgic if you face it in the streets nowadays. This is another production. The name is Unpermitted Whispers. We had this after Green Movement performed, and it actually, there's a taxi with some, we have share cabs in Iran. So what we do in Iran, we have cabs and we share it with strangers in the street. And it's always a place for discussion, discourse, to talk about political ideas, social ideas, dilemmas, and things like that. And I found it very, very appropriate place for performing. Of course, when I say I, and most of the time, you see this performer here, he's my husband, and by that time he wasn't, but we worked together. He is mostly the performer most of the time, and also a dramaturg. So most of the time we develop ideas together. And in this performance, we have 4 performers, just representations of different thinkings in the society, and we have 3 audience. This taxi moves around in the central part of the city, especially the venues and the sites that were very much affected during Green Movement, and they are remembering things together, and of course debating about them. So you see some scenery happen out of the taxi. They can hop in and off, but as they wish. So this is another production. The name is Blinded. You don't see any performer here. Actually, the visitor is a performer himself or herself or any. And this is an apartment with memories inside. So when you approach some things like objects, or you approach a special area of the apartment, the memory plays in your headphone. The memory is sometimes you smell things. So it's very sensory, very high sensory experience, I can say. And it's all an apartment, like a sound bubble, I should say. And as you see, this is the bathroom. For example, here, if you approach, there is something happening, or here, different things. It also depends on your interaction. This is by purpose like that. 90%, 90 degrees. It's apartment number 16, and everyone could stand out in the street. There's also headphones, or they can hear on their phones. There are things happening in this imaginary apartment. So the apartment is real, but whatever happens inside is imaginary, and it is based on the idea of house arrestment, house imprisoning, which happens in my country sometimes. And this is one of the another production. This is also based on sound and memory sharing. This happened in the Contemporary Museum of Art in Tehran. As you see, there are spots, and these spots carry memories of objects which are not there anymore, but they give some special character and scenery to the to this site. And people can attend, just send a message that they would like to participate in this performance, and then they will send their memories to our platform, and we make a barcode for them, as you see in this picture, and we put it on the spot. So anyone in the city, if they pass this area, they can scan this barcode and watch or listen to the memory, because you can also upload movies. So yeah, that's it. My kind of work.
Thank you. Thanks a lot for sharing your work, Azadeh. And I hope I come down and learn theater from you someday.
It would be my honor. Yeah, of course. You know, yes. I would. Yeah, theater for me is a platform to make collective memories and to have the chance to speak. And also, I think everything which comes into the frame of theater has a chance to become highlighted. And also, everyone gives it a right for being, how can I say, everyone gives a right for it to being staged. So you have the right and the capacity of being watched, which is not a right that everyone has. Not only in my country, everywhere, I can say. Yeah. And so, and I think theater can make people activists without putting them sometimes in danger. And theater can make you many people a collective while they are diverse. You know, just in this little event, just in this very short moments of life. Yeah, that's what I like in theater, and that I want.
Creative person in every one of us. There's an artist in every one of us, and your work and theater brings more out of them.
Yes, it's kind of.